Okay, so we are here. Hello, everyone. Namaste from India, and welcome to LiveWabiSabi podcast. I am your host, Shilpi Gupta Shah, a women empowerment advocate, a digital community builder, and founder of LiveWabiSabi Life, a digital media storytelling platform dedicated to authentic human stories. But before any of those titles, I am mother of two sons. I am someone who has lived health challenges, career switches, and reinvented my life in my late 30s. And what I have learned through that journey is, that our lives are not defined by how perfectly we live, but by how courageously we rise from the challenges life throws at us. So, this aspect is brought to life by this podcast. And here we will serve you dose of self love shots, empowering messages through conversations with inspiring women leaders, professionals, homemakers across globe who talk about their journeys to becoming the women they are today. And today I am pleased to welcome a very special guest, Colette Martin. She is a domestic violence advocate. So welcome to Live Wabi Sabi podcast, Colette. How are you feeling in this session today?
Thank you so much, Shilpi. I'm feeling really good. Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, even it's my pleasure to have you here. And from which part of world are you calling? Call it. I mean, will you like to, introduce yourself to our viewers and from where you are calling?
Um, Hi, everyone. I'm Colette Martin. I'm from New Brunswick, Canada. I'm a survivor of domestic violence and now a warrior. I share my story with the world to try and make a difference and give others hope because we all need it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Colette, your work is deeply rooted in lived experiences and advocacy, which you now promote. So, will you like to take us back to the moment or that phase in life where your journey truly began?
Yes, absolutely. In 1997, I was almost murdered by my ex partner.
Mhm.
I kicked him out of my house about 10 months earlier. He came back at night 7 months later and tried to kill me. And it'll be 29 years, May 1st. And it's been a very, very hard journey for me. But I made it through, and I just want others to know that they can too.
Wow, wow. So empowering. And you said it's been 29 years. Oh my goodness. Finding yourself in so many years, that's really, I mean, the kind of mindset, empowering mindset which you have already. So, what were some of the hardest internal battles, Colette, which you had to fight while rebuilding yourself? Because I understand that it doesn't happen in a day, right?
No,
So would you like to, yeah, please elaborate.
when it happened, I was only 27, in the prime of my life. I was a single mom um, with one child. And, I had a good job. I did really well for myself. And that night um, changed my whole story. Um, After he almost murdered me, um, for about the first 10 years after. I barely knew who I was or where I was. I was very, very mentally ill. I got a lot of help. Thank God. I never would have made it through, but I always had that, that strength in me. And, even that night while I was running away from him to get him away from my house, to keep him away from my son. I remember have so much time to think, and I remember running and thinking like, this is not the end for me. I'm going to fight, and I think that's what always kept me going. When I was in a state of mind that I wanted to give up, I would think back to that night, and I would think like how hard I fought to live, and that's what kept me going. And also, I had little boys to take care of. I wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, that's so courageous of you, Colette. And was there any turning point that decided that I am not just surviving, I am going to help others heal too? I mean, what was that turning point? Because rising from your own, fears or challenges, that is one thing. And then rising for others, being a voice for others. So, how did that transition happen?
Well, in 1997, this is when that happened. In 2019, my mom was dying of pancreatic cancer. And her last words were, Colette, get rid of everything that hurt you. And then my sister got sick, my uncle died, then COVID hit. And so it gave me a lot of time to try and figure out what my mom meant. And my mom was a woman of so much strength and courage, and her wisdom. I knew that she had a message in there for me. And, trying to figure out what my mom meant. And then one day, I was always talking to my second son, and I was always trying to figure out what I could do for work and what I could do, that, and find my purpose. Like, I didn't know what I could do. And one day my son came up the stairs and he said, Mom, I know exactly what we're going to do. We're going to start writing your story. We're going to share your story with the world. And that night I started writing my story. And as soon as I decided I was going to share my story, it's like the universe took a hold of me and said, okay, let's go. Let's do this. And I started sharing my story. I joined a campaign in Australia called the Y Campaign. I joined their first event. Then the month later, they asked me to be a volunteer with the Y Campaign. And in August, I was one of the guest speakers with all of them. And, victims were stuck in their homes with their perpetrators. And during COVID, that's the only way we could get, we could talk to them, or, that was their only way out. So the Y Campaign was started in Australia for that reason. And this is how we could reach all the victims. And this is exactly where it started. And once, at first, it's like people didn't believe that I could do this, or they didn't want to hear it. And that's the problem with domestic violence or intimate partner violence. Everybody wants to keep it silent. It's none of our business. It's a private matter. It's a domestic matter. And it's not. It's everyone's business. And we need to start talking about it. We need to share our stories. The only way we can get out is if we start sharing. But one thing that I always tell my audience is to make sure that they have a safe space to share their story, and also that they have a safety plan. I didn't know I needed a safety plan, and I did, obviously. If I would have had a safety plan, I would have known the steps to take if something like that would have happened, but I didn't think I knew. I didn't think I needed one because I'd never been educated on any kind of intimate partner violence. And that night, if I wouldn't have listened to that little voice inside, and I wouldn't have called my cousin to come and spend the night, I don't know what would have happened to me and my son. My cousin was sleeping in the next room, and she called the police, and I was rescued. But I went through a lot of stuff before that moment came. And I'm here to tell everyone that you can go through a lot of stuff, and you can make it to the other side. I didn't believe that there was a light at the end of the tunnel either. And there was. And I'm here now, and I can be that light for others now.
Wow. Wow. And that's how sharing experiences, normalize things, and people get to, talking about these things. So Colette, we all know that healing is not linear, not linear. It doesn't happen in a day, right? So what does healing looks like to you? I mean, on the days which are still heavy. So how do you find your calm after so many years?
Self-love, self-care.
Mm-hmm.
I spend a lot of time listening to music, and walk a lot. I spend a lot of time with myself, and sit with all these things, and it's not easy. Like, every day I struggle, but I never give up. I keep fighting every day because I know I know that I'm helping others, and I'm walking in my purpose right now. And it's the most beautiful feeling in the world to be able to help others, to give them hope, is the most beautiful thing. And this is why I'm doing this.
Well, to make the conversation a bit lighter, the thing is, can you show your hands like this? Yeah. Yeah, I love your nails.
Thank
I
you.
just, I just wanted to bring some glam into the
I,
conversation.
I also want to share that
Yeah, wow.
my ring, my ring
Beautiful.
also has my mom's ashes, so I
Okay.
carry her with me every day.
Oh, wow. Wow, great idea. So now coming back to, session once again. So how do you hold a space for others, call it? I mean, when they are going through trauma without losing yourself in the process, because when we are, listening to other people's traumas, then we are also, affected by it. Instead of providing solutions, we feel the pain at the most. So how do you, I mean, come out from that, process of trauma and train your like audience?
I I'm there to listen. I'm
Mhm.
there to, we have to believe that, to believe them and listen to them and support them. I am not a professional. I'm not a psychologist, a psychiatrist, uh, but I can be there and listen to them and just support them in ways that other people can't. Um, Lived experience, I believe, is my gift that I have now to share with the world. And I would have needed that person years ago. I couldn't share my story with my family. I couldn't share my story with others because nobody wanted to hear it. And now I think that I can be that person for others that I didn't have back then. And the only thing we can do is be there, support them, believe them, and just listen to them. And that's what I would have needed years ago. So I can be that person now, and I think that this is my gift to the world.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
some days, some days it's very, very heavy. And I'm an empath, and I do feel the pain of others, and it's not easy. But some days I just need to have that time on my own, be by myself, and just sit with it. And then the next day I get up and start over again. And now at least I listen to my body, and I know if I've had too much, then I just have to put it on pause for a day. And then the next day I just get up and do it all over again. And also, another way that I support others is by sharing resources that I didn't have back then. In 29 years ago, I didn't have the resources that they do have now. And I'm able to share these resources with others. And I think that's the most beautiful thing. These people need, because when you're in a state of trauma, you don't know where to look. You don't know where to look, you don't know where to turn. And if I can be that person that you reach out to and ask for resources, then I'll find them for you. I have enough connections all over the world that I can help anybody.
Okay, so we'll come back to the resources part once again in the last. Now, I just want to understand, Colette, that people have a tendency of judging, people who have gone through this domestic violence. So, is there any kind of misconception people have about survivors of violence that you wish to change? Is there any such thing?
Yes, I want to change the way this subject is perceived. I want people to know that it happens everywhere. It may be your neighbor, and it happens everywhere. It doesn't matter your status or who you are. And I want people to know that believe the victims, believe the survivors, and we need to stop judging them. Not even 14 hours after I was almost murdered, I was met by a plastic surgeon that asked me what I did to deserve what I got, and then told me that things like these don't happen to good girls. and then rubbed the side of my face and told me what a beautiful face and what a scar you'll carry the rest of your life. I need to share this story because I don't want anybody else to be faced with that story.
Mhm.
I want to change that. And the only way we can do it is by talking about it. I don't
Yeah.
think that anybody should be talked to like that. You know,
Yeah.
those scars, the scars that I suffered,
Mhm.
healed, but those words 29 years later are still with me. So if I can prevent that, then I have it won.
Yeah, yeah, you have already won. I mean, your own challenges. You have survived your own challenges. Now you are here to help others. So, which in itself is, so empowering. And if you can do it for yourself, if you have rebuilt yourself to do it for others, then I guess, I mean, everything is going on, like perfect, and you are on the right path. And call it, if someone is listening to us right now, or maybe if they listen, later on as well, then in such a difficult or unsafe situation, what is the first step you would gently encourage them to take? If somebody has gone through this violence, what should be the first step?
I would reach out to somebody safe that you can speak to and absolutely get a safety plan.
Mhm.
Um, I'm available always to chat. And if I can find resources in your area, I'll definitely do that. But you really need a safe person to talk to, and
Okay,
a
and
safe,
that safe person could be anyone in your surroundings, in your, maybe your friend, maybe someone from your family, or who else other than Colette, right?
yeah, that's right. Women's shelters. If a police, call 911. Um, if you have 911 in your area, that's what I would do.
Okay.
Women's shelters are not just, you know, you don't have to actually move to the women's shelter. Uh,
Mhm.
Now, women's shelter are equipped to do safety planning. They're equipped to listen. They can find resources for you that you don't have, and I think that those are the places that should be safe, but we have to always be careful. I have a friend that's going through a lot right now. Um, she was not believed, and she's not being treated very well right now. The system's failed her,
Mhm.
and we're stuck at what do we do next. The only thing we can do is share and
Yeah.
raise awareness and try and help others with the
Yeah,
right.
yeah, very well said, very well said. So, Colette, if you could speak to your younger self, what would you say to her? I mean, after 29 years, if you look back, though I don't want you to look back, but still, for the sake of people who are listening, I mean, if you could give one advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Look out for those signs, those red flags. If things seem too good to be true, they probably are. And one thing that I've learned is that you have to listen to that little voice inside. If something's off,
Mhm.
you think that it's not good, it isn't. So just listen to yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Your own energy doesn't lie. Your own gut doesn't lie. So you have to listen to that. Okay, I understand that. Very well said. Now, I generally talk about self love on my podcast. I mean, I call it self love shots, daily dose of self love shots. So, what are your daily dose of self love shots? I mean, is it kind of discipline? Is it kind of yoga, meditation, or something else? Please let us know.
Um, I do it by listening to a lot of music. And
Okay.
listening to music and walking, that is my favorite thing to do. And sometimes just sit down and just, meditate, listen to yourself. That's what I do. I do a lot of breathing and a lot of, um, yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
music, music therapy is my favorite thing.
And which is your favorite song when it comes to music? I mean, any random song with
Right now, it would have to be golden.
okay,
Just,
okay.
but my favorite,
You want to sing a line?
my
Sing out.
my favorites, I don't
No,
know.
that's okay. You can deny. If you want to sing.
My favorite artist of all times is Celine Dion. I love her
Okay.
music. I love soft music. I love
Mhm.
music.
Okay.
Even though all of this happened to me and so much trauma and stuff, I still
Mhm.
believe in true love. I still believe that, if you meet the right person and you're in the relationship for the right reason, uh,
Mhm.
you know, but it has to be on both sides, you know.
Yeah.
And
Otherwise, self love is better.
I
Self
love
love comes
that
first.
golden song because it says that I'm done hiding. Now I'm shining like I'm meant to be. And I think that this is the right verse for a lot, like a light for a lot of us because, finally I'm where I'm meant to be. And I knew that there was so much more for me in life, long, since I was a little girl. I used to sing to make others happy. And this is what, I guess now my voice is to sing my story.
And I can feel that, in your words, in the way you are, like in the way you are, like I mean, trying to communicate with all of us. So I think we all are aware of how much you love this song. Now tell me any book which has changed your perspective on life or on healing or self-worth. I mean, is there any favorite book of yours?
Um, no, not really. I
Okay.
just,
Okay.
my favorite book will be my book, which is almost ready to publish.
Okay. So when is it coming out? What's the title?
Well, right now we're in the final stages.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have to get a couple of beta readers
Okay.
to, and I have to go through it myself. But it's almost ready to get published, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, once your book is done, then do share with us so that we
Oh,
could
definitely,
also.
I will share with you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And now one thing, if you could borrow one superpower for 24 hours, call it, then what would it be and how would you use it?
It would be to stop the violence, stop everything that's in the world that's
Mhm.
going really bad right now.
Mhm.
Um, I would just save the world if I could.
No. So kind of you. So thoughtful of you. And now tell me, who is your biggest cheerleader? Who is your biggest support system? Though we have been talking for about 15-20 minutes, and I don't know who was there for you. So is there any such person or place will you like to share?
My biggest support system all through my life was my mom. And now, even in death, I feel her every day. But I have to say that my children,
Hmm.
three
Okay.
grown, I have three grown boys, and they're absolutely wonderful men. And um, they keep me going every day.
Wow. Wonderful. And now, any motivational message to people who are listening to this podcast?
Just that it's never too late to start over again. Don't
Mm.
give up. The
Wow.
world is your oyster.
Wow. Yeah. Be consistent and everything follows, right?
That's right.
Wow. Now, any gift to our listeners? I mean, how can people connect with you? And if you have any free resource or free buy or offering, will you like to share with our community? First
I
and foremost, how can people connect with you?
well, I have a website called ColetteMartinEmpowerment.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can check my work on there, and if you're interested, you can send me a message through there. I'm also on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I have my own Facebook page called Empowerment with Colette. And yeah, that's where you can find anything. Yeah, and
Okay.
if you Google my name, it'll tell you all about me too.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So thank you so much for your time, Colette. And to everyone who watched us live or will be watching it later, I wish to let you know that at Live Wabi Sabi Live, I work to create spaces for empowering women by sharing lived experiences of women leaders, professionals through features, magazine reflections, podcasts, and conversations. Because I believe that every woman carries a story that has power to inspire someone else. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Colette. And to all the people who are watching or will be watching later, if you want to share your journey and wish to support another women's journey, then comment below and we would love to connect with you and feature you, because our mission at Live Wabi Sabi is together we rise and shine. So thank you so much,
Thank
everyone.
you
Namaste.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much,
much, Colette.
Shilpi. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And